eyes are on Florida as Hurricane Ian approaches the Gulf Coast. Don't miss a moment. Stream live coverage on our sister app, the Weather Channel TV app.
To catch all of our coverage of Hurricane Ian and its aftermath, be sure to check out the Weather Channel streaming app. Here you'll see the special live coverage of the storm, giving you all the latest updates at all times. You can also navigate to the on-demand section and scroll down. Here you'll see the latest videos from Ian's trek through the Caribbean and Gulf, as well as preparedness tips and updates from local officials.
And now your tropical update.
Latest update from the Hurricane Center on powerful Category 4 Ian, still holding the winds at 155 miles per hour. As of the 11 o'clock advisory, pressure 937, that's actually stayed the same. It's been consistent. Still moving north-northeast at 9. Well, it's actually been fluctuating between 9 and 10 miles per hour on the center, located about 45 miles west-northwest of Naples, Florida. Forecast track pretty similar to what we had earlier. Not really too many updates here. Still looking like we may see a landfall here just northwest of Naples and south of Sarasota, somewhere in that area, as a high-end Category 4 storm. I mean, this one could be one of the strongest we've seen on the west coast of Florida, and then eventually moving north in a hurricane. Maybe a Cat 2 storm as it crosses Orlando through tonight, and then as we look ahead toward tomorrow, and eventually Friday morning emerging as a tropical storm out off the western Atlantic and maybe bending back in to the Georgia-Florida line there, or Georgia-South Carolina line as a tropical storm. And then inland, we'll have some heavier rainfall and some gusty winds. Now, we do have some new advisories and some new warnings. Most of these hurricane warnings stay the same. We've got tropical storm warnings south and up further north. We have seen tropical storm warnings here stay from Savannah to Charleston. Inland tropical storm watches are also in effect. But these hurricane watches is some of the new information now. So the thinking is that we could potentially see maybe some hurricane conditions. That means it's possible that this strengthens back to a hurricane, 74 miles per hour. These changes include a 12 to 16-foot water rise. Port Charlotte, we could see some of the highest water rises, maybe even as high as 18 feet, right where the center comes on shore to the east side of that center. Naples, 7 to 11 feet. Everglades, 7 to 11 feet. So extreme inundation here. There'll be many spots that'll be underwater. We could see that water rise continue to get in excess of 16 feet, as I said, in some spots. Further north of Tampa Bay, about a 4 to 6 foot water rise. Now the wind field. We'll go through this morning. Some of these gusts will be in excess of hurricane force in Fort Myers and maybe even around Tampa, but you see some of the 60s and 70s. Some of these may be higher values into the afternoon as we get into kind of the right side of the right front quadrant of that eye wall where the strongest winds will be. Early tomorrow morning, the center of a hurricane Ian will be sitting over Orlando with hurricane force wind gusts possible. There's going to be damage, and there's going to be heavy rainfall with a threat for flooding. And then again, watching the winds to tropical storm force move on through Jacksonville and further on up the coast. Tornado threat, 30 to 40% chance of tornadoes in red. Watching the future radar showing us this afternoon when we start seeing the heavy rain move in. By tonight, the center dangerously close as a hurricane once again to Orlando, moving through Daytona Beach. And by early tomorrow morning, emerging back out over the western Atlantic, and then starting to pummel here, the coastline between Georgia and South Carolina, and even up near the Outer Banks too. We'll have some beach erosion and probably see some flooding on Highway 12, and then the rain spreads inland as we head on through the daytime hours on Friday. All right, so how much rain? Well, the bonus totals here, potentially 12 to 18 inches. Orlando back in near Tampa, and then 3 to 5 inches as we go further north, and then inland maybe 2 to 3 inches through Friday, but more inland in parts of the southeast as we head on through the upcoming weekend.